reconciliation statement. So what is EBRS? EBRS is nothing but whatever we learned in our +2 and degree, that is electronic bank. EBRS, where we match our bank balance with our books and with whatever is the shown in the bank statement. So same thing we'll be also doing in SAP. That is, we will try to match what is the bank balance as per bank statement with bank balance as per our books of accounts. For example, we'll have one main GL account, right? For example, we are currently using SBI or HDFC SSG as a bank account. So it has a balance of just let us take an example. So as we are using SBI as our bank account. So say balance as per our books of as per bank statement says 10,000. And balance as per our books of accounts, that is as per our GL account, it is say 15,000. So at every, and we will get a bank statement every day. So in usually if you work for any companies, because we do payments and receipts on a daily basis, that is, we will do F110 on a daily basis to paying our vendors, and similarly we will be receiving the customer receipts, that is, the customer will make the payments. So there will be customer receipts and customer payments on a daily basis, and we'll be receiving this bank statement on a daily basis from the bank. and there will be a separate team, either we call them as the treasury team or a banking team, and this team is responsible for processing our bank statements and doing the reconciliation. So what they will do is that we will upload the bank statements, and based on the posting rules or whatever the logic we have developed, the system will read the bank statement and it will post the entries, and then they will match up the box, and then they will match the balance as per books and with the bank statement. For example, we did APP. So let's take an example. When we do APP is nothing but automatic payment run. So the entry get posted in SAP is vendor account debit, check issue or check clearing account, or any GM check issue clearing account, we'll just say for 2,000. Similarly, so this is the only entry gets posted, but when this vendor submits the statement, submits the check, and if the check gets cleared, okay, let's just show. So this is the entry that gets posted when we issue the checks, when we do the F110, and then you can see this is when we posted this entry. This is still not hitting our bank account. That is, there's no the funds have not been removed from our bank accounts. We have just credited one dummy account called as check issue account, and this account will get nullified and our bank balance will reduce when we get our bank statement. So once we get our bank statement, what system does it on its own? It will reduce our bank account, and it would debit this check issue clearing account. That is, so if the vendor has presented the check, so our bank balance should get reduced. So what we are doing is that since this is a dummy account, what system will do, it will debit this check issue clearing account debit to main bank account 2000. So this is the entry that will get posted when we try to upload our EBS. That's our bank statement. So since this check has been cleared in bank, so we are also reducing our main bank account. So when the vendor check when the vendor submits the check, for example, if my bank balance was, say, as per our bank statement is 10,000, and he submits a check, so minus 2,000, so it will reduce by so now the balance as per bank statement is 8,000. So similarly, when we post this entry, I will reduce my main bank account by 2,000. So this is the entry that got posted when we try to upload our bank statement. So, and similarly, if the bank has charged some interest, for example, they on a regular basis, they'll be charging some interest, such as they'll be charging some expense like bank charges. So that entry will get posted only once we receive the bank statement. So for example, if the bank has charged around, say, 100 rupees as charges, so again it would appear as a credit, and it would appear as a minus in our bank statement, and that would be reduced. So once we get this bank statement, the system will read these charges, and again an entry will get posted. So based on that, the entry would be bank charges account debit to main bank account. That is, my main bank account has to reduce it because the bank has charged some value. So once we get that bank statement, based on based on the rules or whatever the logic we have developed, whenever it finds that bank charges, the system would automatically post this entry whenever the system sees this bank charge. We'll see that a live scenario in our system. I try to log in my client system. First, I will show you how the bank statement looks like, and then we'll understand how the bank statement looks and what configuration we do. We'll understand that, and then we will do that same thing in our systems. So that might help you to understand it. Similarly, so this is bank charges, this is check issue account, and similarly, based on our balance, the bank would also give some interest, say 10 rupees. So this will be an income. So it would be plus. So once again, similarly, whenever it sees this value of 10 or a bank interest, again based on our posting rules, whatever you have defined, again since it is interest income, our bank balance should go up. So it will debit my main bank account 10, and it will credit by interest income. So everything will be done automatically of 10 based on whatever we get the bank statement. So this is how the system would post automatically the entries. And similarly, if check has been cleared, for example, similarly, if the customer has deposited the cash in our bank, has deposited the money, then what would happen? The entries will get posted as main bank account would get debited because customer has deposited the cash in our account, say 1,000 to customer account 1,000. So this entry would clear up the customer balance also, and at the same time it will also increase our main that is our bank balance. So this is how usually the regular entries gets posted. First we'll see this thing in our live system, and then we'll understand that, and then we'll try to configure in our system. Then only you'll be able to understand why we are doing all this thing. So first let me log into my client system, and I will show you that. Save. The configuration step is very less. It's only 5 steps. That is financial accounting and financial accounting, bank accounting, business transactions, payment transactions, electronic bank statement, make global settings for electronic bank statement. So it will ask you for chart of account, just enter that. And these are the only 5 steps that we do with respect to electronic bank statement. That is, one, creating account symbols, assign accounts to account symbols, create posting rules, define posting rules, create transaction types, and assign bank account to transaction types. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the only 6 steps that we do with respect to electronic bank statement. So first we will see in a live system, and then we'll do the same configuration in our system. So let me share my let me log into my client system. No desktop. Oh. నీ ఫోన్ ఇదే దానికి ఒక పుష్ వస్తుంది కొంచెం అప్రూవ్ చేయవా ఇదే డూ అది క్లార్క్ది ఒకసారి ఒక సిస్టమ్ ఒక బ్యాంక్ స్టేట్మెంట్ చూపించాలి
విష్ణు
చూడు అది కాల్ వెళ్తుంది One minute. Let me just pass. So this is how the bank statement looked like. So this is called as by two format. So if you see this 82, 88, 80, whenever you see these numbers like this 88, 88, 88, so from this you should understand this is a by two format. And if I and this is your bank account. Okay, 1 minute. So this format is called as by two format. I will also show you the MT940. So based on once you see that format, you'll be able to understand by seeing this whether it's a by two or it's a MT942. So this is a by two format, BAI2. We call this as a BAI2 format. And if I just go further down, so see if for everything you can see this, the 16 represents, the 16 would represent that some transaction has done with respect to our bank account. So if you see this 275, so how system would understand whether this is a bank charges or whether it's interest income or it's a clearing. So based on this code, so this is 275 you can see as a code, or 475 you see as a code. So these codes we call as BTC, that is we call this code as BTC, and we will link up these codes in our system. For example, you see this is 275. So first let us see what is this 275. Let me log into SAP once. Let me start. Okay. Log into QE1. We call the transaction as OT83. So the moment you press OT83, you will get the same thing, same as what I have just shown you. So 16 represents that if that some transaction has done with respect to our bank account. So after 16 you can see you just 275. So just come here and see 275. So 275 you can see what we are doing is that 275 linking with our posting rules. That's so whenever our bank statement reads this 275, this 3-digit code. So 3-digit code, what system will does? It will call up this. So it will read this. It will come to this place, and if it finds 275, it will call up this posting rule. So what this posting rules will see. So it calls up YC02. So if I go to my YC02 and if I give this posting rule, it says that it should debit. See, posting is what is debit. So Z bank is the, so this account will get debited, and ZB transaction, so this account will get credited. So what is this, we'll also see. So just select this, Z bank would get debited. So what I'm telling to my system is that whenever you see this posting rule of 275, you should debit my GL account, that is, you should debit this GL account Z bank, and you should credit this ZZB transactions. So we'll see what is this Z bank. So if I go to here, assign accounts to account symbol, Z bank is the, we'll see what is Z bank. So Z banking is my main bank account. So I'm asking my system to debit that main bank account and credit. What was that one? ZZB trans. ZZB trans. So we'll see that what is that ZZB trans. ZZB trans. So this is a transfer. So what system will do is that it automatically, whenever it sees this entry, it will debit me your main bank account. It will credit your this GL account. So how that would happen? So what we do is that whenever we configure our EBRS, so for each of these transactions, so whatever I just explained here, let me go back here 1 minute. One minute. Let this Excel sheet get open. So we'll try to understand one more time. So BTC code is nothing but so whenever we whenever we do the implementation, the what bank does is that it will give you as a list of codes, um, saying that 1 minute. Let me. So what bank does it? So it will give us a list of BTC codes. That is, whenever we issue check, and if that check has been cleared, it will send us with, say, code 275. So whenever the bank statement reads this, whenever if system finds 275 in our bank statement, this entry will get posted. That is check issue account to main bank account. And similarly, if it is bank charges are there, how the bank if the bank has charged some charges, what the banker would do, he will send with this code as 100. So whenever the bank statement reads 100, this entry will get posted in our books of accounts. And similarly, if it finds 200, just as a dummy example, if whenever it finds 200, what system does is that it will understand that specific line relates to interest income, and this entry will get posted automatically in our books of accounts. And if it finds 250, so it understands this is a customer receipt, that is, we have received there's one of our customer has made the payment, and now this entry gets posted in our books of accounts. And how this would happen? It will always happen based on this BTC codes. BTC codes nothing but these are the set of standard codes. These are also, it doesn't change every day. So these are the standard set of codes which were given by bank, and based on this we will be configuring the rules. So what banker says that whenever a check has been issued, that is, if the vendor has submitted a check and that has been cleared, I will be sending that information to you based on this code 275. So whenever you find 275 in your bank statement, what we do is that we will post this entry, that is check issue account debit to main bank account. So with this, the system understands that it has to reduce our bank balance, and this entry gets posted. So similarly, if you see 100 in our bank statement, it means that bank has charged some expenses, and based on that, system would debit our bank charge account debit and will credit our main bank account. And similarly, if it find BTC code as main bank account, that is 200, then it means that we have got some interest on our deposits, and this entry gets posted in our books of accounts. And similarly, if it is 250, it means that some of our customers have deposited some has paid some invoices, and based on that, this entry gets posted automatically in our books of accounts. And then we'll compare our balance with and then the balances would match. I mean, whatever is the balance as a bank statement and whatever is the balance of our books of accounts, that the differences would get matched. And if any of the entry gets failed, what business would do is that we have one transaction code called FEBAN, FEBAN. He will go there on a daily basis. He will see if any of these items are not posted, they will manually post that and try to reconcile your balance as per our books and with our bank statement. So just remember that everything is automated. This BTC codes, we call this as a BTC codes or external transaction codes. So these are the codes which are given by our banker, and based on this, the system in the SAP understands that whether it's income, receipt, pay, or it's a bank charges, or it's a check issue, or it's a customer deposit, everything is done based on this BTC code. So if I go back again to my client system, let me show you one more time. Is there somewhere? Configuration is easy, only 6 steps, but only thing we have to understand what is the logic behind that. Why it's not? No. Okay. So if I go back again to my client system, okay, let me just go back. I've recently, 1 minute. It also has bank charges. I wanted to show the bank charges and interest income, because at least we'll understand that. It was 475. 1 minute. SAP. YC04. See, so YC14. So this is, you can see it for YC14 is linked to our Z fees. That Z fees is nothing but our bank charges. And whenever, okay, let's see what is the mapping we did for YC14. If I go here, YC14. Let me just check where is YC14. It says 477. So 477 represents bank charges. If I go back to here and if I say Control F and say 477, fine, next. Just remember 16 is the 16, anything starting with 16 that represents that we have some transactions we have done with respect to our bank. So you can see here it says 16 and it gives the 275 as the BTC code. So if 275 is the BTC code, no, this is 477. We have to look for 477. Let me find 477. 477. Not this one. Find next. Let me open one more statement. Because if you understand this bank statement, then only you will understand. Anyway, this is A, right? This is the one. So if I say here Control F and say 477, it should be there. 1 minute. 477. This is the recent testing which I did. I've done changes. I just wanted to show because if you see that, at least you'll understand. 1 minute. I'll just see one more time. 477. 5C4. Okay, setting. 5C15. 5C15. So this is the bank charges. 1 minute. This is not with my intent. Okay. Interesting. The quality was refreshed recently, so therefore I'm not able to show my entries, but I will log in with InDev and see it's 0 to 0. TU plus the now it should come 1 minute. 20. Display. So this has been posted with my entry, with my ID. More. Let's take some time and understand, then only it will be easy to you to know. If somebody asks you in an interview also, you will be able to explain it. So I just wanted just wanted to show you that. I've deleted it one more time. Let me just. This is the last entry. Display. Delete on this. More. Environment. Let me upload this bank statement one more time. Then we'll see it. So ff underscore 5 is a transaction. And if I come here, I'll give a variant which I've defined it. I'll give the path, that is, this is the, on desktop I have some files, so I will try to upload it. And this is the okay. Click on execute. That's it. So just ignore that message. Now the system is reading that statements. I mean the BTC codes and the codes that is mentioned in the bank statement, and based on that, it's updating that entries. We'll see that now. Hey, you're shutting down now. Okay. some issue at my desktop, at my client system, but I will try to show it. Okay, let me. So what would mm, that day today also is getting some problem. Yeah, promoter. Mm. I will show it on Monday. So I'm not able to log into my Clark system. It's just throwing some error. It's not going up till now. But I will just show you. We'll redo that same thing in my client system. So just understand that. Uh, so for each of this for each of this what you call the BTC code, the banker will give us a BTC code, and whenever the system sees that basic BTC code, that is extraction code, we will do that mapping, and based on that, our system would place this would if it is a receipt, then it gonna hit this GL account. If it is a bank charges, it will hit this GL account, and if it is interest income, this GL account will get hit, and everything is based on this BTC code. So for every line, the bank would send us with the BTC code, and in this place we will link up our BTC codes. Let me go to SAP. Is this? So we'll come here. We will. Let me see if anything is there. Here it is not there, but here you will find this BTC code. This plus or minus is maintained. Sorry, this NCHG is there. So NTRF is there. So based on this BTC code, the system would understand what general and what entries it has to get posted. So similarly, in our case also, we'll creating a dummy once, and then we'll see how the entries gets posted. So this is the most important thing. Based on the BTC codes, your posting rules get determined, and in the posting rules will specify which GL account should get debited and which GL account should get credited. So in the posting rules, we'll only give this. We are giving this accounts. So here this is the account symbols. So if I go to here, it starts with account symbols. I will create dummy account symbols for each of the accounts. We'll link our for each of these accounts. We'll create my account. First step is we'll create the account symbols. For this account symbols, I link up the accounts. That is, if I will link up the bank charges account. If it is a bank charges, I will create one account symbol and link to that symbol. Similarly, if it's an interest, I will create one more account symbol and link the GL account. If it is a main bank account, also I will create that GL and then they will link it up. So that is how first of all, that is the step we'll do it. And next I will create the posting rules. That is, once if it is for example, if the system reads the BTC code as 275, then it should be then what posting rules should get what DGL account should get picked up. So that I will be specifying here in this posting rules, and then I will define the posting rules. So these are the four steps. That's it. So it starts with creates account symbols, then we assign accounts to account symbols, then we create the keys, and then we link up the posting rules, and we link this posting rules to our BTC codes. We come here and we will link our BTC codes with posting rules. So whenever the system sees this extraction, this BTC code, it will call up this posting rule for Y400, and it will post the general entries. So we'll try to create the same thing in our system, and tomorrow on the Monday, I will try to load a bank statement and check what and how the system behaves. So we'll start with our chart of accounts T100. Go to create account symbols, click on new entries. So what I'm saying is that we'll have four account symbols, that is one for check issue, one for bank charges, one for interest income, and one for the customer receipts. So we'll have four account symbols. So I will say T, I will start with T. I mean, you can give any number. I'll start with T001. So T001 is for, I specify that it's for check issue account. T002 for bank charges. You can give any 4-digit character. You don't have, I mean, it's not that you have to give, usually T002 bank charges. T003 interest income. T004 so these are the four accounts, the account symbols that I've defined it. So in any place, it will always okay. Say. The first step is always create account symbols. So for each of these BTC codes, I will be creating one account symbol. That is for check, for bank charges one account symbol, for interest income one account symbol, for check issue one account symbol, and similarly for customers, receipts will have account symbol, because usually if in any business transaction you'll have some checks issues, you'll have some bank charges, you'll have some interest income, and some customer receipts. So based on that, what I did, I'm creating four account symbols. And now what I will do is that I will link this accounts to our account symbols. That is, click on new entries. For example, if I've created with T002, I've created an account symbol called T002, and I'm specifying that just put plus plus here. I will explain what is plus plus plus, and I will link this GL account. That is, T00 stands for bank charges. So I have created one GL account for bank charges. Go to FS00 and get whatever the GL account you define for your bank charges. T100. We don't have anything, so let me first create one bank charges account. $430 I will take. We'll try to do that. We'll try to understand one more time. But let us start with the config. Then we will see primary cost, account group, expense, bank charges account, go to control data, since this is the expense, I'm giving 01. Come here and give this GL account 40030, which I've just created it. What the first step, what is that? We are defining some account symbols. So I've created T001, T002, T03, T04, and now what I'm doing is that I'm linking that account symbols to my bank account. So T00 represents bank charges, so that's the reason I've linked that GL account. T03 represents interest income. I will explain what is this plus plus. So I will come here and I will check whether any interest income GL is there or not. If it is not there, I will create one more interest income GL account. So interest income, it's not there, so I will create one more GL account. 3. I will create it 300, 100, 300, 0. Come here. It's a revenue because it's an income, interest income. So I will just put revenue. Where is income here? So interest income. Come back to this one. Give only balances. Sort key. You can give 001. And since this is income, you have to select the cost element category as 11. Because it's a revenue, I'm selecting revenue. And go to create bank interest and give 001. So now I'm linking this GL account. Click on save. So now we have to create one more T001, that is for your main bank account. Control F, T001. So T0, this plus plus is nothing but if this plus plus here, what you see is that it means that this can be used. For example, usually we'll have bank statements in multiple currencies for a global one. So it means that this is applicable across all the bank accounts. If you specify currency, it means that for only that specific currency it will check. But if you specify plus plus plus, it means that plus 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 means masking. It means that this account symbols or this posting rules are applicable across for all the currencies. So that is how you have to understand. If you specify INR, it means that this rule account symbol is only applicable for INR currency. But if you specify plus plus plus, it means that is this entry is applicable for all your transactions, all your currencies. So it's always maintained with plus plus plus. Plus 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 means it's nothing but your masking. We call this as a masking. And T001 for check issue account. So just put plus plus plus. Give plus. And here what I will do is that since this is a main bank account, what I will do is that if you see my entries, if I go back to my FS00, and if you see my bank accounts, where are my bank accounts? So this is my main bank account. You can see it starts with 200, 230. So what we usually is do that. Okay, let me take an example. SBI, HDFC, and ICICI. For example, if I have 3 bank accounts in my, I have 3 house banks, and 3 house banks I usually use for my day-to-day transactions. So what I do is that I ensure that whenever I'm creating my bank accounts, they always end with 0. That is, my main bank always ends with 0. That is 200, 140, 200, 150. You can see that every time my GA, okay, and 200, 160, 200, 110. You can see that every time my GL account ends with the last is 0. That is, so what I will do is that instead of entering each and every GL account here, that is when updating my GL account here, what I will do is that I will say plus plus, I will do masking, that's plus 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 0. 1 2 3 4. My GL account is of 8 digits, is of 6 digits. 3360. So now the whole system would understand that whenever it will check for only these GL accounts based on the house bank. Once it reads the bank account from the bank statement, it will check whether it belongs to SBI, HDFC, or ICICI. If that payment belongs to, if that bank statement is for ICICI, it will pick up this GL account. So instead of creating Instead of creating multiple entries, what we do is that we'll call this as masking. So with ending with 0 means it will check only these 4 GL accounts, and if the bank statement belongs to SBI account, then it will pick up this GL account. If it belongs to HDFC, it will pick up this GL account. If it belongs to ICICI, it will pick up this GL account. So in the bank statement, our bank account would be there. From that bank account, will read, and then it will check which, I mean, it will come here, and it will, and if that bank statement belongs to SBI, it will, when it's posting the entries, it will pick up this GL account. So instead of maintaining multiple entries, we always ensure that we do this masking. So masking is nothing but this entry is applicable for all the accounts ending with 0. So if we have 100 of bank accounts, I will ensure that always my main bank account ends with 0, and based on that I will do this masking. With this masking, the system I will only have one entry, and based on the bank statement, whenever it reads, it will check, if it will check that value, and based on that it will pick up the GL account. So for bank charges it remains same, so that's the reason I have entered the same value. But if it is, and similarly for interest account, we'll only have one GL. But since we have multiple bank accounts for our check issue, I always give a masking. So masking is, how do I do the masking? Masking is nothing but, whenever I'm creating my main bank accounts, I will ensure that it always ends with 0. So now since it's ending with 0, it will, based on the bank statement, it will read and will pick up, if the bank statement is SBI, it will pick up this GL account. If the HDFC, it will pick up HDFC GL account. If it is ICICI, it will pick up ICICI GL account. We'll see how the system will understand, but ensure that whenever we are creating this entry, we'll always do this masking. Instead of creating multiple entries, we always use this masking, and we'll put 0. We'll see in my client system also. I will show you that for their main bank account, they have created this GL accounts in this fashion, and they did the masking. So with this masking, whenever they are uploading the bank statement, the system would check whether that bank statements for HDFC or ICICI or for SBI, and based on that it will go and pick up the respective check issue account from that specific customer, from the specific bank account, from the specific bank. So we'll see that entry, how that is done. And the last T002, 1 2 3 4, T004, this is for customer receipts. I will create one more one. I'll create one more GL account. SBI. Main account is 230. It's 220. 231 and 232. 242. We'll redo this. We'll again we'll stop here. We'll do this configuration one more time. So it's nothing but, see, first step is we are creating this account symbols. So based on whatever the account symbols are there, like for for check issue, for bank charges, for interest income, for customer asset, we'll create this accounts, and then we'll link up this accounts to our account symbols. Then we'll create this posting rules. We'll stop here. We'll try to do it one more time on Monday. First we'll see that settings in our client system, how they have done, and based on that we'll do it. First we'll try to upload a statement, and then we'll understand how that works, and then we'll redo it in our system. That way you'll be easy for you to understand, because the steps are very easy. That we just create some account symbols, you assign those accounts, and then you do the posting rules, and you then define the posting rules. So these are the only 4 or 5 steps, but first we'll understand these configurations in my client system. We'll upload a bank statement, and then we will come and do those settings in this in our ECC. With that, you will be able to understand better, because right now time is also done. If I mean, we'll redo this configuration again on Monday, and then we'll see how we can upload that bank statement. The configuration will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes, but first we'll try to understand in my client system, and then we will redo it, the same thing in our test. But it all starts with account symbols. We do this link up, then we create this posting rules, and then we link up this posting rules to our transaction types. So we'll see these settings one more time on Monday, and try to finish this EBRS. We'll also see. I'll also show you both the buy to and the MT940 statement. So how does that look? And once you see that bank statement, you should be able to tell whether this is MT940 or buy to. I have shown you today the buy to. So in buy to, it will always with code 16, 88, and 16. So 16 represents that line item, but in MT940, we use a different BTC codes, and the look is also different. So I will show you that also within my Honeywell system. How does the bank statement looks for MT940? We'll stop here. We'll continue on Monday. We'll redo this configuration. I thought of first showing you in my client system before I do the same thing in our test, but I'm getting some error in my client system. But let me try one more time. Remote desktop, apps. Oh, no, it's not connecting. It's failing. It's not connecting. It's not connecting to my desktop. I mean, to my. I will have to check why it's not connecting, or there's some maintenance. But this is how it's gonna do. We'll redo the setting again one more time on Monday. I will try to show that both the statements, both MT940 and buy to. First, we'll try to upload that statement in our in my client system. We'll see those entries, and then we will try to configure in our system. I mean, tomorrow on Monday, when we have this session, I mean, once we complete that session,